Okay. Well, we're going to welcome everybody back to Red Earth.
Blackfire.
Okay. So this is pretty much a cool idea. Of course, I always didn't like to usually say subscribe, but hopefully people will subscribe. Hopefully they'll find some interesting content as we start to have more of these discussions, and then they'll subscribe. Um, so today we're going to be talking about Akashic Records. Um, which is a little out there. And I think the thing that was so out there for me with the Akashic record is I kind of stumbled upon it looking at a video. And I thought it was quite interesting the way it was broken down. And I actually tried to go along with the meditation of the video that I actually saw. And it was quite interesting. Very, quite interesting. So let me first ask you this, like, throughout your life, and the reason I'm asking you this because they actually say that some people have probably tapped a little bit into their Akashic record. First of all, let me explain. Akashic record is like they call like a book of life, where pretty much your past lifetimes, your thoughts, different lifetimes that you've come, your experiences are recorded. Let's say in this big, huge book of life that represents different lifetimes, different experiences, different thoughts, feelings, emotions, life paths, life achievements, different things that have occurred in a person's life. So it's a pretty interesting thing. And at first, when I came upon the video, one of the things that I did find interesting when I saw that video was, and I saw this in multiple videos, they were like how people have probably been in touch with their Akashic record where they have asked for certain answers to certain things and have gotten responses, right? And they said a lot of people are actually
Hmm.
in the Akashic record where they may ask a question like, should I do this? Or should I do that? And if it pertains to their, let's say, life journey or something that they should be involved in, it's kind of like, okay, they'll get an answer or response. But then they also say with the Akashic record, you would get it the response in different ways. They're like some people may get it by you just hear yes or no, or you
Okay.
may get like a sign throughout your life. Like if you're like, should I do this? And you may get some type of like maybe your ears do a ringing, maybe you feel like a slight push or nudge, or you feel something, right?
Or,
Um,
do you have extreme goosebumps where your hair stands up?
yeah, I think it's
Okay.
about that experience too. Um,
Okay.
But I guess my question to you is, and we'll definitely get a little deeper into the Akashic record as I'm learning a whole bunch of stuff. I'm sure people may actually post even additional experiences they have. But one of the things that stood out to me was her saying some people, in one particular video, she said, some people may have actually kind of been in their Akashic record and have gotten guidance through their Akashic record throughout their lifetime without even realizing that that's what it was. Like they were being kind of guided or steered towards a little bit of a life purpose, right? So I guess my
Yeah.
question to you, just out of curiosity, have you ever had an experience where you were involved in something or doing something or trying to achieve something where you felt a little bit like things were kind of like not necessarily nudging you or pushing you, but you kind of had this overwhelming sense like this is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing.
It's
Almost
like a
like this is my path. Things are falling in place for me to walk down this particular path or whatever.
yes, yes. I would say that's the case.
Hmm.
Also, I would look at that as like deja vu because when you're
Hmm.
doing something and
Hmm.
it just feels like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. Like I've already done it before,
Hmm.
and you don't realize you've done it before, and it's more of a it's so like I said with the goosebumps, it
Hmm.
gives you those goosebumps because you're like, I've done this before, but I don't remember doing it. Type that makes
Hmm.
sense.
Yeah, perfect
And
sense. Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I felt that. I felt that before.
when you got the goosebumps and you felt that way, was
Yeah,
it, did you have any fear? It was like no fear. I'm about to just charge right head on into this. Like, was it
yeah,
like
yeah,
destined?
yeah, yes. It felt very familiar to the point
Okay.
of like you've done this before,
Mhm.
and it's a very common feeling, and that's why you get the goosebumps because you're you're feeling that, but there's nothing attached to it. If that makes sense.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
you just do it, and you go through with it, and you don't have any. No, there's no fear there whatsoever.
Mhm.
But keep going.
Well, I think what's interesting is, and of course, like as we go on, when I started to learn how to go into my record, I'll share some of the information that was a mind blower that was out there of past
Hmm.
experiences that I've had, and some of me with the permission of people, because to my understanding, which I honor this, you should never go into anyone's Akashic record unless they're giving you permission to tap into that energy and into that space. So what I find that was so interesting to me is tapping into mine and then tapping into some other people's. I know I tapped into yours. Like we'll discuss whether we're going to discuss some of those past
No,
lifetime
no.
experiences. But
We can discuss Mars because I will not hide anything.
yeah.
So
I
we
mean, but
can
we're
go.
not getting to it. We'll do like different parts to this because
Yeah,
it
that
was
makes sense.
quite interesting because I did do a friend of mine's, and based on some of the things that I saw within hers, I was like, wow, like I don't even know if I would even in her in some of those past lifetimes, and me and her would even still be like cool because I was like, that is like what? So, but we'll share some of
Hmm.
like going into that experience with the Akashic records, and also with some of the things that I discovered and some of the things that I
And
saw, which was like,
and
wow.
let's be clear about one thing.
Mhm.
We can go in depth with mine because
Okay.
I don't have that issue. We're not going in depth with yours.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah. I mean, we could do a little bit because these are past lifetime experiences. And I will say that learning how to meditate is very important. And I would suggest that for anyone out there who wants to even leave comments about what do they do to meditate, to clear their mind, to ground themselves, to get into that clear mind of clearing out all of the gunk and just centering and grounding and kind of coming to yourself. It's a hard thing to do,
Yes,
meditating.
and I would say it depends on the person.
Mhm.
Um, how you do it is basically the best way you feel.
Mhm.
You don't want to just rush into it. You need more of a you have you need more of an understanding of yourself to do something
Mhm.
like that because you really just you it's not nothing you can just jump into and be like, okay, I can do it.
Mhm.
Taking from experience, you can't do that.
Mhm.
It could drive you crazy. But go ahead.
Yeah. Um, I think it's a good, interesting topic. Because I'm kind of new to a lot of stuff and learning a lot of stuff. And I'll, in another episode, kind of go into when I did come across those meditations, how it made me feel, and how it kind of opened up the door of a bigger understanding of wow, and how I was able to kind of learn through practicing. It wasn't easy at first to tap into it, to kind of get answers with today, with the life that I have today, and say, oh, this is how this ties into that. And I will say for people out there, the interesting part is everything is oddly connected. Things that I've come to learn with that is that things that you've lived throughout your lifetime where you feel like, oh, it's just a random this or random that. When I started to go into my Akashic record, it was almost like these plugs that plugged right back into these. little memories of things that I was like, wow, like I had no idea that that had more meaning than it actually was at that time. Like to me at that time, it was so insignificant. It could be like a small thing that happens, right? And then it was just like, wow, like you start to see, it's almost like the dots. That's what I feel like. The dots in my life started to connect. Kind of what you were saying, where you were like, you
Hmm.
get a little bit of that deja vu feeling, kind of like, wait a minute, like, this is familiar. And I think a lot of people don't realize sometimes things are familiar because you may have experienced certain things, I believe, in another time that are kind of coming through to this time, right? Um,
Hmm.
so I thought that was quite interesting. I'll be interested in hearing what people think about have they ever had those experiences where, like you said, they've had a deja vu, or have they had experiences where they've had those moments of, hey, this happened at one period of my life, and for some reason, something about it, not making sense, resonated. There was something about something that had
Yeah.
happened in my life that made absolutely no sense at all. But somehow
It
I was connected to this, and it
yeah,
makes no
you
sense why.
yeah, you are very familiar with that feeling, and
Right.
you're able to not doubt yourself, but connect with yourself in a better way where you're
Mhm.
like, okay, I can do this. This is going to be easy. It's going to make you, it made you feel calm
Mhm.
while you were doing it. And it
Yeah.
wasn't no anxiety. It wasn't none of that stuff. It was just pretty much, okay, I can do this. Your confidence comes up. You're
Yeah.
just, yeah, yeah, yeah. You just feel great about it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I would be really interested in like just hearing like people leaving comments of if they've had, like you said, the deja vu moments, or if they've had those moments even now where they could still have a moment that resonated, or they went through something in their life that had this profound effect on them. But for example, it was so insignificant. Like at that time, it was just like, I can't even, I don't know why I'm so drawn to this, or I don't know why I'm so connected to that. It's like that. I'm not gonna go into detail. I'll put a little crumb out there. My crumb is, I remember I lived somewhere where there was this Jewish cemetery, and I'm not Jewish, but there were like rocks on the cemetery, and I remember every time I would go past it, I would stop and literally just something about it. I mean, people pass cemeteries and they may feel like a little bit, some way going past cemetery. But there was something particular about this where I would stand there and just watch how the rocks were. I would kind of really deeply resonate like this was somehow a part of a deep, deep, deep experiences that I was so connected to. Didn't make sense to me at that time. And I was definitely a lot younger, and I was just sitting there like there was something about this particular cemetery that heavily weighed on me. I mean, I felt like kind of pulled into like those experiences. um so I guess I'm just interested, and you can maybe decide if you want to go a little deeper into some experiences that you may have had, which I think would be really interesting to hear about also, where something could have happened that you felt so deeply connected. You didn't have the answers to it, and you didn't know why, and you didn't know why you felt that way. And what was so interesting, like I said, the Akashic record kind of answered a lot of questions, a lot of information that was just like a mind blower to me, about past experiences, past lifetimes. And of course, there's also videos, and there's also other things out there where they've talked to children who have come back to this lifetime again and again, or not necessarily that child again and again, but they'll talk about a previous time where they've lived and they've come, and they've actually explained certain places they lived, their family, their relatives, different things like that, which I think is kind of, it definitely is interesting. So
Yeah, it's more like a premonition,
mhm,
if I'm saying it right.
right, yeah,
Also, if you would like to comment and subscribe and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
We're gonna take your comments very seriously. Um, we will read each of them and we'll go through them and you don't have to be afraid. I understand this can be scary to certain people. Um, it's definitely going to be different when you start talking about it
Oh, it's gonna
because
be very different.
yeah,
It's gonna be very different, and it's gonna be very
yeah,
interesting. Cause when I say
yeah,
mind blower, I'm like, what in the world?
yeah.
It's
Um,
crazy. It's
um,
well, not crazy, but it's like, what? What?
no, it, it's gonna open your mind up to some stuff, and you're gonna be like, "What is going on?"
Right, right.
I can attest to that for myself, but
Yeah.
let's see what you have to say.
Mhm.
This is a good forum where you can open up and you can talk, and nobody's gonna judge you.
Right. So I'd be interested, of course, in hearing the comments about this. Even people's experience with the Akashic records. I know some people are like, "What in the world is an Akashic record?" So I definitely like to let people. Hopefully, they go research that information, get a little bit more information. Maybe some stuff that you could teach us that we could learn additionally about the Akashic record. Um, so people are going to be at different levels with this. I think some people are like, "What in the world are you talking about?" And then some people can be like, "Oh yeah, I completely understand what you're saying. I get it. I've done it. I've kind of went into mine." So I'm interested in hearing a little bit of both. Like for the people that are like, "What are you talking about?" And then hopefully the people who do post stuff that have a little bit more experience with it, they can kind of like give us all additional information on it. Like so I'm thinking it'd be different people, different levels to that where some people are
Yeah,
like, oh yeah, yeah, I definitely
yeah,
know what you're talking about here.
different
Mhm.
walks of life, different experience levels where everybody's welcome. Please come and
Yeah.
join us on this, and let's let's educate everybody.
Yeah.
Let's make this a safe, very safe place for people. Um, you don't have to
Yeah.
be afraid. You
So
can.
we'll look, when you say don't be afraid more than once, that makes people afraid. Some people would be like, all right, like you just literally
No,
just said afraid more than once. Like I'm getting a little bit afraid right now.
no. Those are
Like
the
what's
people
going
I'm looking.
on?
Those are the people I'm looking for. I want y'all to come out. I want y'all to embrace this community that we're starting because everything we're doing is for the betterment of the people in our lives and around us.
Yeah.
We're not here to judge you. We're not here to do none of that foolishness. We're all about you come into our family, we'll welcome you in. It's as simple as that. So you want to join? Please join.
Yeah. So we're gonna wrap it up. We'll go down another whole segment with this Akashic record stuff. This is quite interesting. Very, very interesting. Um, so again, we'll look for comments and we'll see. We'll go from there. So again, this is what we're the road that we're going down. So everyone definitely
Say the name.
subscribe and we're gonna bring this to a close. And of course
Say the,
that this
say the
is
name.
Red Earth.
Black Fire.
Alrighty. Bye bye.